Season's greetings, everybody. This is a video all about those last-minute gifts for photo and video people that aren't gonna leave them going, really? Look, it's really tough for people who don't know the worlds of photo and video to pick stuff for the likes of us. They don't know what we need and what we don't need. So I'm gonna be addressing the people who have no idea. But hopefully this list has got a few items on it that people who do know all about photo and video will be like, oh yeah, that's cool, that's a cool idea. I really want that as well. So if you are a photo and video person who is sick of getting novelty socks and lens mugs for Christmas every year because nobody knows what to buy you and you always seem to have the stuff that you need and want already, that's the perception a lot of people have of me, then forward this on to those people as well, the people who are stuck, who need to get you a last minute gift, who got you in the family Christmas drawer or the office pool and have no idea what to get you. This is a last minute gift guide, so I made sure all this stuff was readily available and not on back order as much as I possibly could. And at the time of making this, it was all available in the UK on Amazon, all available in the US, Australia. So I did a bit of research and made sure. I've also got links to absolutely everything, not only down below, but I've made a shopping list on Amazon they do these like weird global tracking links that when you click them, they seem to work on any of the Amazon stores. I hope I'm using it right, but that's what I understand. So please do check that out. And it helps me just a little bit too, but it doesn't change the price for you. Okay, let's dive into it. Let's check out some awesome gear that you can give to photographers and videographers to make their lives just that little bit better. Okay, so there's gonna be two sections to this as well. The first thing I wanna dive into is not actually gear itself, but the inspiring stuff, the stuff that gets your creative juices flowing again, the stuff that tops up that cup of creative mulled wine, if I'm being seasonal about it. I think we all need a bit of a refuel now and again. And one of the most amazing things, one of the things that's helped me over the last year or so, was a couple of gifts I got last year that weren't actually physical gifts at all, but real life physical memberships to museums and galleries in the city that you're in, to actually go and experience art. In London right now, there are some fantastic things. I'm speaking from my experience here, but they're gonna be analogs in other countries. The two things that inspired me the most over the last couple of years were memberships to the London Design Museum, where I saw amazing exhibitions on Tim Burton, Wes Anderson, skateboarding, among other things. They were so inspiring and so cool. And I went into these things and came across this art and came across these examples of design and just came out inspired. So the Design Museum in London, and then also there's a brand new museum in London, the MoCo Museum. Brand new, I say. It's been around about a year and a half now. And they've got a museum here in London, in Amsterdam, and in Brussels as well. So if you are not UK based or not European based and these don't work for you, buying for a creative friend or family member, look at what their interests are. Are they into street photography? Is there a photography gallery nearby? Are they into paintings? Are they into film? Can you get them a cinema membership? You can get those too. It's incredible. Unlimited access to movies too for an entire year. These sorts of things can be so powerful. The next thing then is books. And this is a really powerful thing. Your Brain on Art, that's a really good one. Actually, not on the stack that I've got sitting on my lap right here. An incredibly good book, and I'm gonna be doing a video on that, I guess, in 2026 now. The first two books tie in really nicely to one of the exhibitions I spoke about. Now, this is Tim Burton's Things You Think About in a Bar, a collection of all of the cocktail napkins he kept from hotel lobbies over the years where he sat there sketching and doodling on them. And he's made it a thing, and he's collected them all in this book. They are absolutely beautiful. They're absolutely stunning. And as you flick through this book, you can start to see inspirations for characters from films. And at the exhibition, for me, this was one of the most inspiring parts because it was so simple and yet so beautiful. There was so much to that exhibition. And on that note, look, these cocktail napkins aren't the only thing that Tim Burton does. I need to put that behind me here safely. This one here is Tim Burton Designing Worlds then. And this is just this beautiful breakdown of his entire career from a teenager, sketching, doing local flyers, all these sorts of things, creating characters as a teen at high school, for ideas for films and all sorts of other stuff, right throughout his career, making his movies, creating narratives, branching out into photography. And it is such a stunning just chronicle of Tim Burton's life and Tim Burton's work and how he is inspired. If your friends or family or loved ones or you even are not Tim Burton fans, there are books on people like Ridley Scott, there are books on Martin Scorsese. You can probably see then that I'm inspired by the world of film, and I've always loved watching movies. And this one is a book about one of the modern masters. It's called The Nolan Variations. I love Christopher Nolan's work. He's very popular, but also can be polarizing with film snobs, but I love his stuff. This is written by a guy called Tom Schoen, who chronicled again Christopher Nolan's creative process through a series of really in-depth interviews, sitting down and not grilling Christopher Nolan, but talking through the entire production process of all the films. And it is just such a wonderful journey into the mind of this modern day genius, Christopher Nolan. And I cannot recommend this enough. It was such a fascinating, inspiring read. And as a consequence of reading the book, it inspired me to go out and want to create things and change the way I approach some of my normal, even corporate projects in some ways. I'm not going to give too much away, but it is absolutely fantastic book. And one last film-based book before I move on to something different, just because this is something that inspired me so much too. And I love this film, The Batman by Matt Reeves, starring Robert Pattinson and Zoe Kravitz and Paul Dano. The Art of the Batman is just this beautiful book, which again chronicles everything that went into creating that sort of rich, beautiful, vivid world in that movie. I love the aesthetics in this film. I love the way it was shot. I really enjoyed the film, the whole thing, to be fair. Oh, Colin Farrell, he was amazing. The character design, the storyboards, the way they designed the sets, the props, storyboarding, everything, it's all in here. It is such a fantastic, delightful journey into how they created that film. And for anybody who is a film fan, I really recommend this. A note, there's other books out there on making film. If someone's not a Batman fan or a Nolan fan, things like Future Noir, all about making Blade Runner with Ridley Scott, is absolutely amazing. Some of the books on making the Alien films are absolutely amazing as well. And Rebel Without a Crew by Robert Rodriguez, another wonderful book on filmmaking, how he made El Mariachi by on his own with $7,000, selling his blood to get the money to make the film. Just such a delight, such an amazing book to read. There's so many cool books out there about movies. I'm a video person, and a film person, so that's what I'm into. So moving on from film, I mentioned I love narrative books. There's lots and lots of books like that out there. I'm not going to go too much further on the book journey. There's two more things I have to show you in that regard, but effectively you could call this the video sponsor. This is A Kiss of Hammer and Flame by Amy Delaforce. Yes, that is my wife. Don't hold that against the book though. It is absolutely fantastic fantasy romantic adventure following a blacksmith Kara on this epic quest when an ancient prophecy starts to come true. It's just been released in the US, which means it is now available globally. Please head to your local bookstore and support Amy and me by sort of a stretch there, but by buying this book, giving it to somebody who's into romantasy or fantasy. Me as not a romantasy person, I really enjoyed it. And again, I know I'm biased. I probably cannot be objective in this case, but goddamn, it's a good book. And yeah, out everywhere now. The links to everything are going to be down below. Okay. Here's another one. This is a really special one again. And yes, again, this is somebody I know. But my gosh, this is such an incredible piece of work. Hooman Katouzi. And Hooman is a Sydney-based photographer, and people love his work, and it's not surprising. He recently had an exhibition and has recently released this. This is Sydney in Motion. And this is such a beautiful, stunning piece of work. I love Hooman's photography. Even though he is a friend, I just wouldn't have brought this up if it wasn't absolutely fantastic. It's this beautiful collection of street photography, black and white street photography that he shot in Sydney. And I love the way he works with light and sort of he paints pictures with his camera. It's absolutely beautiful. And follow him on Instagram. He's on there and he's amazing. I think he's up there with the people like Billy Din, who are doing just fantastic sort of leading work in these spaces right now. There's a lot of street photography out there, and in my mind, Hooman sort of like elevates it to a new level. And it's so wonderful to see somebody I know doing that. and just check out his Instagram. I'll put a link to his website to get this. Copies are pretty limited now. He's almost sold out, but this is a wonderful gift for anybody who's into street photography and will be so inspiring to them. I know he is such an inspiring, awesome guy. He's so humble too. He'll get really embarrassed with me talking about him like this. But yes, such a talent. He's going to be one of those people. I'm so glad I've got a signed copy of this. I'm really proud because in the future, he's going to be one of those people like, wow, you've got a signed Human book? Yeah, I do. And it's extraordinary. Sydney in Motion, Human Kutuzzi. Check out his website. It's linked below. I absolutely love it. Okay, so the next section here then is a bit of a guide to all these different types of cool gear that you can get for people, everyone from beginners to pros, to help them on their journey, and then obviously to get them stuff which isn't just, you know, those mugs and socks like I said. So I've picked lots of different types of gear that you can get people which will hopefully help them in their journey, surprise them, help them be more creative with their photography and videography. Also, this is going to go right across the range of different prices. I've tried to start really cheap with some fun sort of almost novelty stuff, which is awesome, but pros can still use it. Beginners will really appreciate it too. Everything from small stocking stuffers, Secret Santa gifts, just token gifts for friends, right through to big hero presents. This is all stuff that you're going to be able to get last minute too. Okay, let's dive on in because there's a few things to cover and I'll try and group these in logical groupings, but I want to start off with something incredibly cheap, incredibly cool. I mentioned these in my last video. I'm actually using one right now as a little accent light on this tree here. But these are the TT Artisan film canister LED lights. So this is it. It looks like a little roll of Kodak. I've got the color one, which looks like a little roll of Fujifilm. They've got little caps on them to stop you accidentally pressing the button. But on the top right here, you can see it's a little LED light. This is a bicolor light, so it goes from warm to cool. And it's fantastic. It's such a cool little thing. It charges via USB-C. You can actually have it powered as you're using it, which is really neat as well. I love that. And they're so sweet. They look like little rolls of film, and they complement sort of things like Fujifilm cameras, which is, I bought these as novelty just to kind of have in my camera bag with my Fuji cameras because I thought it would look cool, but then they become surprisingly handy. I've used them for a couple of things, which is just really neat. They have these little magnetic mounts that come with them, very hard to see. I have this one in front of me, this green one. You can see that's affecting the tree there. And I've got it green, but it's full RGB, so it can do like the color spectrum, can turn all sorts of different colors. I have that just attached to a tripod stand with a magnet. It's not clamped on or anything, and it's staying really well. So these little magnet things can put it on the top of your camera, so you've got a little light. Lights are a fantastic gift for videographers and photographers. These are such a cute, cool novelty. They'll probably find a great way to use them. I would love a keyring version of these, but that's feedback for TT Artisans. They're such cool little things. If you don't want to get somebody novelty lights, for most beginners, like a little lighting panel or a COB light, that's like an LED light that's a bit more powerful. You can get lots of different types of lights for under $50 or pounds, under $100 or pounds, that are really powerful and can really help beginner videographers out. For photographers, instead of getting them a constant light, get them a little flash. TT Artisan also do a little flash. I believe it looks like a little film case as well, which is incredibly cool. So that's little lights. I'll have a few different lights linked down below. Let's move on because there's a few different things to cover. Okay, next step up. One of the coolest and most useful things that I've had over the last couple of years. You can never have enough supports and stands and tripods as a videographer or photographer again. This was a gift that someone got me, which I'd sort of seen online and sort of seen other people review, but didn't quite get how useful it would be until I went out with it and did some vlogs with it and that sort of stuff. This is the PG Ytech Mantis Pod. It's sold as a vlogging tripod. It's a little tabletop tripod. The legs open up like that. And the selling point is it's got this hook. They call this like the Mantis hook or whatever it is. So you can hang it from like fences and walls and things like that. All sorts of different surfaces. And I just keep finding places I can mount cameras or mount lights with this as well when I'm on the go. And I've used this in a bunch of professional situations too. So this comes with me absolutely everywhere now. To pro shoots, vlogging in the city, I've always got it with me, even if I'm going to meetings. This has become so handy for me. It has a little Arca Swiss mount up here. That's a standard tripod plate. So it will connect to the connectors that most people have for most tripods. And I believe it also comes with one in the box as well. It's a little while since I had it. You can get a version with a remote control in the handle for triggering and video as well, so people can walk around and vlog with it like this. It's such a cool little tripod. Regardless of whether you're doing photography or videography, I think you'd find a way to fit this into your workflow and just have it with you all the time. There's two versions of this as well. Another one that kind of telescopes out. I really want to get that. It looks really cool, be perfect for lights. I don't have it, but that's linked below, and I really want to get it based on using this one. This is awesome, so rad, and I'm so glad I had it. Okay, I'm gonna put that down. But one of the other things, and this has been a revelation for me over the last couple of years, and little did I know, I actually owned one of these already. Vintage lenses, both for photographers and videographers. Vintage Canon lenses. Well, the one I want to show you right now, though, is not a Canon one. I will show you Canon in a minute. This is an incredibly iconic lens. It's talked about a lot in the video world at the moment. It's the Helios 44M I've got, or there's another version of it which is very similar called the 44-2, and variations of this lens were used to make films like The Batman. See how it ties into the book I was speaking about before? Everything Everywhere All at Once, that Oscar winner from a few years ago, which is such a beautiful film. Dune 2 as well. They all used variations of this lens attached to cinema cameras. It doesn't mount natively to any of these cameras, so if you buy it as a gift for somebody, you're also going to need to get them an adapter, and that's why this looks so big. The actual lens is actually only half of what I'm holding, and the other half is this adapter here, which connects it to either your Sony camera, your Fuji camera. But these lenses go for as little as, I got this for like 25 or 30 pounds secondhand. I've linked one on Amazon, and it's a little bit more expensive. And Amazon do sell these refurbished ones that you can get. And the great thing if you do that is all these sellers have return policies, and if there's something wrong with it, you can exchange them, which is great for a gift. But if you want a bargain, these are fantastic. These people love them. They create beautiful looking images. They create this sort of swirly blur in the background. Do, if you can, make sure it's a high quality one and people guarantee it, and there's a returns policy or buyer protection of some kind if you get it from an online marketplace. It is a bit of a potluck to some degree, so go with the ones that are certified, maybe from certified secondhand stores or local camera stores, or Amazon, the links that I put down below as well. So this is the Helios lens. You can use it with any modern digital camera or any old film camera as well. It has an M42 mount, and that's what that adapter is. It's M42 to this one is a Sony mount. I've got one for my Fuji camera as well. Such a good purchase. I love this lens so much. Again, I take it on every shoot, every professional shoot, just in case I can work it in. It creates such a beautiful image with so much character. I absolutely love it. Okay, so the next thing I want to talk about, we're going to do a little bit of a price jump, but that's only because this is a little bit of a combo. It is another vintage lens, but this one is attached to a Canon AE1. So this is what I mean about the thing that I already owned. This is the first camera I ever purchased myself. I've owned this since 1996. I think this lens is a beautiful vintage Canon lens attached to a beautiful vintage Canon camera. One of the biggest favors you can do anybody who is new to photography or new to video is encourage them to try shooting on film. And this is another one of the things I want to talk about, film, very soon. A few of these things tie together, as you're starting to get. This lens, just like the Helios lens, can be adapted to any modern digital camera with the right adapter, relatively cheaply. These adapters are not expensive at all, but these lenses, these old lenses, they don't make them like they used to. Modern lenses have this reputation for being what a lot of people call clinical and sometimes too sharp, particularly for video. For photography, I love the character of old lenses still. I do prefer it, but a lot of photographers do love a very sharp, very clinical image. So it does depend, but shooting on film and trying out these vintage lenses is just a delight that I think every videographer and photographer I know loves. And having a film camera but with lenses you can use on your digital cameras is just a wonderful gift. And this whole package, again, I've got a package just like this linked down there, is about 120 to 130 pounds in the UK, but they fluctuate so much. Again, I've put an Amazon link to a certified seller who will do returns and all that sort of stuff if it's broken or anything like that, or not as described through the Amazon returns process, but you can get them very cheaply on online marketplaces as well. Basically, this is a wonderful, wonderful discipline for anybody getting into videography and for photography. And if people do love vintage cameras or they're professionals but don't own one, I'm sure they will appreciate a vintage camera and perhaps a couple of rolls of film to go with it. And I've got some recommendations there too. One of my favorite types of film I've been shooting since the 90s is a film stock by Fujifilm called Velvia. It's wonderful, beautiful, rich, vivid colors that reminds me of sort of like 60s Star Trek episodes, if that makes any sense. Beautiful, punchy colors. If you own a Fujifilm digital camera, they've got a film simulation of it, and it's incredibly oversaturated. And to me, that film simulation doesn't capture the original Velvia in all its glory. But Fujifilm Velvia film is absolutely stunning, and I couldn't recommend it enough. Then also any of the Fuji color films in my mind are absolutely wonderful. This is why I got a Fuji camera, because I'm shooting on the Fujifilm XM5 right now, because I do love their colors, but their films are just a next level up. They are absolutely beautiful. Another one, it's absolutely stunning, and also ties into the next thing I want to talk about too, isn't that great, is Kodak Gold. Kodak Gold is a stone cold classic. I absolutely love it, and it ties really nicely into one of the other accessories. Rolls of film, by the way, you can get a multi-pack for somebody, 20, 30, 40 pounds or dollars, depends on where you are and what store you're getting them from. I've linked a few on Amazon again, but if you want a real treat for somebody, and if you're getting them a film camera, or if they have a film camera and they have a film that they like that you know about, ooh, for black and white, Ilford HP5 as well, amazing. But buy them a few rolls of film, and a lot of film labs as gifts now will sell you a bunch of rolls of film and then a gift card for the credit for getting film developed and printed. And it's such a wonderful thing to get as a photographer, because film is quite expensive and processing is quite expensive. So 5 rolls of film, 5 processors, or even just 1 process, and they can do the rest themselves. A lot of labs will just do a discount when you get the film from them as well. It's such a wonderful gift to get, because processing film, I've got a couple of rolls in my fridge I just haven't been bothered to go and pay for, and so I've just kept them in my fridge for a while now. So someone prepaying that for you is a wonderful, wonderful thing. And I can't stress enough, not just for photographers, but for videographers as well. It is such a powerful thing to learn to shoot stills on film. You can shoot movies on film too, motion picture film, but that starts to get stupidly pricey, and I, for one, don't have the budget or the patience for that. It gets really expensive, and the rolls of film you can get are actually very short, and if you want a longer reel to do anything really with it, it starts to become just prohibitively expensive. If you're rich, do it, absolutely. 35mm camera, Kodak sell a 16mm film camera now. They developed in conjunction with filmmaker Spike Lee, but the camera itself is ridiculously expensive, and then the film is quite expensive, and the processing is quite expensive too. But oh gosh, I'd love one of those. I'd love to experiment. Kodak, if you are watching, I've given you a pretty good plug there, so I'd love for you to send me one. I couldn't afford the processing, so please, yeah. I just have it on my shelf and enjoy looking at this beautiful thing I couldn't afford to use. Speaking of Kodak Gold then, this product is actually on my camera right now, so you're seeing a bit of the effect of it. The Polar Pro 135 series of filters, which is made in conjunction with photographer and YouTuber Peter McKinnon, and this is the 67mm, that's just the size for the lens I have, gold mist filter. If you do buy this for somebody, you're going to need to make sure it will fit lenses they have. If you're not sure what to get somebody, my advice is get the biggest size. It's about 82mm, I think. And they can always put adapters on to make that fit their smaller lenses. If you know what kind of lens they use, have a look at the front of it. There'll be this little symbol, it looks like a 0, a circle with a line through it with a number. I'll put an example of this on screen, but then you can actually buy the right size for their lenses. But I would recommend getting the biggest size possible, because it can be adapted to any other lens after that. Okay, and it comes in, the little filter, I will get a footage of it, in this beautiful little film can inspired metal tin, which also acts as a, that's loud, also acts as a lens cap and a back for the filter to protect it if you take it off your lens and put it in your bag as well. One of the things I really appreciate about Peter McKinnon, and he's going to pop up a little bit later in this list too, is the beautiful packaging he always has for his product. But these Polar Pro filters are wonderful. They have another collaboration with another photographer known as Short Stash. Follow him on Instagram too. He is a wonderful photographer, which is his everyday filter, which is a different kind of aesthetic again. Have a look at at those on Instagram, both Short Stash or Peter McKinnon on Instagram, and compare these filters. If you're buying them as a gift for somebody, see if one matches the style of the person you're buying a gift for as photography and get them that one. But they're both beautiful and you can't go wrong with them. Other thing I should mention as well is I have a friend, Morgan Scott, who's a wonderful photographer based in Tunbridge in Kent in the UK, who does amazing work, and he uses the Short Stash filter on a lot of his work. I'll link his work somewhere. I'll put some of it up on here right now, but I'll link his work somewhere down below so you can check out his Instagram, follow him. He's amazing. He's a third party, not the guy who's trying to sell you the filters, who uses these. A couple more lenses I want to give an honorable mention, a shout out to. These are on the list as well. These are the lenses, the collective lenses. I'm shooting on one right now, the 25mm f1.8 7 artisan lens for Fuji. I've also got one of their lenses here for my Sony as well. Two of these are both actually Sony lenses. What these guys do is, if you don't want to buy people vintage lenses, or people don't like the idea of secondhand vintage lenses, TT Artisans and 7 Artisans. All of the lenses of theirs I've tried, I really like. They make modern lenses which are reproductions of all these old vintage lenses, and they have a lot of the characteristics of these older lenses, and they're stunning. They're really beautiful, and they are all sub $100 or dollars or pounds, which is really, really neat. Not all of them, but a lot of them are sub $100 or pounds. You can get all these really neat prime lenses. Again, if you don't know what that means, it's basically a fixed focal length, so not a zoom, which a lot of photographers and videographers prefer. You get a better image quality, most people think, from a fixed focal length than you do from a zoom. So these prime lenses, these cheap prime lenses, are absolutely fantastic. And I've also got another one. This is a little bit of a curveball. This is an autofocus lens. This is really interesting. It's a lens made by Viltrox. It's this incredibly tiny pancake lens. If I take the back lens cap off, you see it's absolutely tiny. And the lens cap makes it much, much bigger, but it's still an incredible lens. It's a 28mm f4.5 lens. It's really designed for street photography. It's quite wide, and it's got a fixed aperture. And what that means is that you can't make it darker and you can't make it brighter necessarily. You have to adjust settings in camera to do that. But it really helps a photographer or a videographer even work with the constraints of the lens to get really good results. As weird as that sounds, for a lot of artists, that's a lot of creators, that's a really good thing. I would not recommend this necessarily if people are going to be self-filming or that sort of stuff. While it is autofocus, it's not fantastic autofocus, but it's good enough for street photography when you are watching what you're doing. It's a really fun little lens though. It doesn't even need a lens cap. It's just got a little slider on here that opens and closes the door on the lens too. And for what it is, it's cheap. It's £90 at the moment on Amazon, under $100 in the US as well, I believe. And it's such high quality, such good value, and so much fun to shoot with. So I highly recommend that as well. All right, that's the last of the specific lenses I'm going to speak about. There is one more thing later on, which is lens related, but it ties into something else I'm going to talk about a little bit later. Okay, so we got a couple more things to get through. This is where it's going to start to jump up in price a little bit. If you do know photography and videography, and you're just looking for inspiration to buy something for a friend or colleague, I hope this helps inspire some thought, or inspire your next purchase for yourself as well. If you don't know, if most of what I'm talking about sounds like absolute gibberish, then don't worry. I think any of these recommendations are going to be really appreciated by most people who do photo or do video. There's all sorts of other things you could get people: tripods, lights, clamps. I don't think clamps and batteries are great gifts. When I get a gift, I want it to be something that's inspiring or something that I can use straight away. If you get someone like a tripod, sure, they can stand their camera on it and go, wow. And I know I mentioned the little mini tripod there as a cool accessory, and it is such a cool accessory. But yeah, that's why I didn't go crazy with that kind of thing. Those lights even, the ones I recommended, they're so cool and so novelty and so fun. That's one of the reasons I put them on the list, because they look like little rolls of film and they bring such joy when you get them and when you play with them. I think it sparks joy in my heart. Very Marie Kondo there, but I think she has a wonderful approach to life. So the other thing, as well as light then, that can be incredibly powerful, and creating a wonderful image with lenses, that is really vital. The other really vital thing then is audio. for people who make videos. So this is really for the videographers and people who are looking at making videos, but audio is absolutely critical. It's so important. Honorable mention to headphones. I'm not going to highlight any headphones on this list. I just think it's too much, but microphones are a really critical thing. Right now you can't see it, but I'm using the DJI Mic 2 magnetized underneath my clothing. Cannot recommend those enough. DJI mics are absolutely fantastic. The DJI Mic 2 has been superseded by the 3, but it is still a fantastic buy. It's become cheaper recently. It does things the 3 doesn't allow you to do, like plug in external microphones. If you don't know what I'm talking about, all that means is it's a little bit more versatile while still being incredibly high quality. But if you want to get something that's an absolute bargain for somebody who is just starting out with content creation, you cannot go wrong with the DJI Mic Minis. And these are an absolute steal at the moment. You can get the transmitter and receiver sets for about £40 or dollars thereabouts. Absolutely insane quality, absolutely insane value. They're linked down below. I don't have them, but definitely worth checking out. Notably, I have tested them with my friend Morgan Scott before. When we've made content together, when you look at his Instagram, you'll see some of the work he's done. That's what he uses. So definitely worth checking out. The DJI Mic Mini is absolute steal. Wonderful stocking stuffer, really, at that price, huh? Absolutely nuts. I hope you realize as well that just because something's been superseded doesn't make it bad in this space. These microphones are still fantastic. As a professional who's used a lot of this stuff on a lot of shoots, I'd use any of these quite happily on a client shoot. Also, another honorable mention, I don't use these too much, but if you know someone who's starting a podcast and wants a banger of a mic, these Rode podcast mics, I believe they actually market this one, the Rode X, as a gamer's mic for, people who do game streaming, but it's fantastic for podcasts too. I've used it for tons of professional voiceovers. They are just a wonderful company. I love these guys. It's such a great microphone and has served me so well. Definitely worth purchasing if you have a friend who wants to start a podcast. What I would say is if they want to start a podcast, but they also want to go out and record videos, get them the wireless video mics instead of just podcast mics, because the wireless video mics will work indoors and you can use them for a podcast and they're great. But if people don't have a microphone and they want to do both, then the wireless mics are more versatile. If you just get them this and they want to go and shoot a vlog in a city or wherever they're shooting, then you don't really take this out and vlog with it. You could connect it to your camera, but it would look absolutely ridiculous and be very heavy and difficult. It's not heavy, but it's not like the lightest thing if you're carrying around a camera too. If people are making videos, if they want the best possible music, audio.com, audio.com, and the music is just the best. I love their music. I've trusted them for about the last 5 or 6 years now. I love them, and I've kept trying out other services and coming back to them as well. One of my colleagues recommended them to me at my old video agency. He said, dude, you got to get on this. And they work with real artists going out and sourcing real music. And they do lifetime memberships, which are amazing. And they also do this new pro subscription as well. It's called Audio Pro Plus, where you get all their music, all their sound effects, and then you get this crazy service where you can record your voice and then have it translated into different AI kind of theme voiceovers.
I haven't experimented with it too much, but I had a good play with it. I might see if I can do that to a little bit of this video right now, actually, as I'm talking about this offer. It's really cool. I put a discount code down below to get a discount off of that. I'm flashing up on screen now.
I've been asked such a great service.
Okay, another topic then, which is really close to my heart, and I've talked about a lot in a couple of different videos, and in my previous video even. I'm going to show you something from my previous video right now, so you don't need to go away and check it out. But bags, and having a comfortable bag that carries all your equipment and keeps it safe and looks good as well. And I've tried out so many, been so disappointed in so many, so it's a delight when you find one you love and looks really good too. I just sent back a bag, or sold rather, a bag that I'd had for a couple of years that always gave me back pain. I don't know what it was because of the straps. I won't name the company. I've named and shamed them before, but here's one that I love. It's brand new. I've been carrying this for a couple of months now. This is the Maverick & Co. recycled earthen leather backpack. I think I got that right. And Maverick & Co. just make these beautiful, stunning bags. I covered this a lot in my previous video, so I'm not going to dive too far into it, but these are on sale at the moment for Christmas, I think. It's really lightweight. I forget that I'm carrying it on my back. even when it's got my laptop and all this other stuff in it. It's more for carrying lightweight gear. It's not designed for cameras. It's designed for just like a laptop and daily carry. But for the DJI Osmo Pocket 3, for a small camera like the Fuji X-M5, and your laptop and notebooks and all that sort of stuff, and a water bottle, absolutely perfect. Check out my previous video on it. And then, if you want something badass, the coolest camera bag I've ever owned, I've made two dedicated videos about this and mentioned it in countless others, to be fair. But this is my favorite camera bag of all time, and I really do not say this lightly. This isn't sponsored in any way. I bought this with my own money. They didn't give it to me. None of this video is sponsored, by the way. Even that plug for audio.com before, I have a discount code just because I signed up to get discount codes. I think anyone can do it as far as I'm aware. This is the Go-Matic or No-Matic. Their name changes depending on whether you're in Europe or not. 25 litre Peter McKinnon everyday backpack. I think I got that right. It's a bit of a mouthful. It is also an absolute joy to carry. It is without doubt the most comfortable backpack I've ever carried, thanks to these nice chunky thick straps, which are so soft, so beautiful to carry. I love Peter McKinnon's stuff. It's got his, hope that didn't bounce the mic too much there. It's got his trademark skull and crossbones Pete's Pirate Life insignia on the back of it as well. Again, I've made entire videos about this. I've shown what I carry in it as well, so not going to go too far into it. It's not the cheapest bag. It's about half the price of that camera at £200 to £300. Sometimes it gets a little bit cheaper on sale. It has all sorts of modular inserts. If you want to get somebody just this camera bag that's going to last them a lifetime, this is just wonderful. I love it. I swear by it. I can take it in the rain. It's been thrown around. It still looks wonderful. I get compliments everywhere I go too. People say it looks like Batman's backpack and ask where I got it. And if there's, it's such a lovely bag. I love it so much. I think they just did a killer job. Peter McKinnon, again, collaborating with Go-Matic and No-Matic. They've got little sling versions and stuff like that as well. I've not used those. I've seen them. They're the same quality. He also has a cheaper line as well called the Luma line. I haven't tried it. So yeah, I might have accidentally clicked buy on one of these. Oops. But yeah, just arrived while I was editing. It is really comfortable. These guys just know how to do straps. I'm sure I'll share my thoughts on this again in more detail very soon. But it's really comfy. It's really nice. Yeah, such a wonderful bag. Such a good purchase. And one of those things that I don't think I'm ever going to get rid of. There's a bigger one as well. There's a huge 35 litre one. This is a 25, just in case you carry tons and tons of stuff or you're doing lots of international travel. But yeah, they are such wonderful bags that look great and carry tons of stuff. So if you want an awesome bag that looks like Batman's bag and you don't mind spending a few hundred on it, it is such high quality, so worth it. Okay, right, we're nearing the end. There are 2 items left. One of my most recommended things, something I recommend to everybody who wants to self-film, anybody who's in a setting where they're going to be doing pieces to camera, who wants stable footage. This is the DJI Osmo Pocket 3. It is a fantastic, incredibly versatile camera that is designed for vlogging, but gets you incredibly stable footage because it's on a gimbal. I've made a bunch of videos about it. I'm going to link those down below, and I'm not going to rabbit on about it too much. It's about to be superseded. So guess what? The new one's not out yet, but they've gone down in price. The Creator Combo right here comes with a little mini tripod. It comes with another little battery grip to extend the battery life of the thing. Comes with the DJI Mic 2 that I'm using right now. It comes with a little wide angle filter to clip over the lens of the camera. It is absolute bargain. It is fantastic. So many pros I know who are using cinema cameras daily when they're doing their corporate shoots also have these on standby, use them at events, but these are fantastic and I've used these so much in both a professional setting and for this channel as well. Check out the videos I've done on them. They are absolute steal, but they are around the $300 to $400 or pound mark, depending on where you get them. I know DJI are having some issues in the US and they have rebranded some of these. I don't want to give concrete advice on that, but have a look. You'll find guidance on this. DJI is selling under another brand in some circumstance in the US to get around tariffs or something like that, but a wonderful brand. This is an absolutely fantastic kit. Okay, now I mentioned I was going to come back to lenses and filters. That's because I've got some lenses and some filters which are specifically for this. So don't buy these for somebody unless you know they have this camera or you're getting them with this. But I have in here, and I made an entire video about this as well. I have in here, there's little clip-on lenses you can get. I've got an anamorphic filter one, which kind of gives you this super cinematic widescreen for people who want to make short films on a budget. It would be fantastic for that. It's so cool. And I would challenge young filmmakers to get out with this and see what you can do with it, because it is so versatile. And there's all these lens attachments. I've also got a macro adapter. So if people are doing food blogs with it or something like that, I'll put a shot I did with the macro adapter on screen of a brownie on a food shoot right now. It looks so good and you can get so close. It's so cool. I love this thing, and all these little mini filters for it are great as well. I've also put what they call an ND filter on that too. This is like sunglasses for your camera, and basically if you're getting this for somebody, this ND filter allows them to darken the image so that the camera behaves in a way which makes the background blurrier for them, if that makes sense. I don't want to dive too much into the science, but definitely worth getting for people if you're getting them this or if they have it already. And they're very cheap as well, 15, 20, 30 pounds or dollars, depending on where you get them from. Amazon, they're always very cheap, and there's lots of them. The ones I've linked below are the ones I would recommend. The final thing, it's very tough to show you, because I'm shooting on it right now. I talked about it in my previous video. I'm gonna make another dedicated video about just how much I love this camera. I think I mentioned it at the beginning, but the Fujifilm X-M5. This is the most expensive item on the list, but it is still a steal. I think it's the cheapest camera on the market that gives you the most bang for the buck. It's sort of close to action camera prices, but it is a fully featured mirrorless camera that can be used like a cinema camera, and people are doing this, using it with cinema lenses. It's got fully interchangeable lenses. It's absolutely marvelous. It is incredibly powerful, incredibly beautiful as well. It's got this vintage retro look, and it's an absolute steal at between $799 and £999 or dollars, depending on whether you get it with or without a lens and in which country or store you get it. Perfect for everyone from a beginner photographer or videographer through to somebody who's a professional like myself who wants something that I can literally fit this in my pocket, especially with that pancake lens, that tiny little lens attached to it. It slides into the pocket of most jackets, particularly in the winter at this time of year. If you want to make someone's Christmas, it's a wonderful, wonderful gift for a beginner, or even for somebody more experienced as well. Fuji cameras are such a delight to use, but check what they have, check what their needs are. One caveat with that, it doesn't have a viewfinder. That's the little hole you look through where you hold it up. It's got a big screen on the back and you have to frame everything up like you would with your phone. So a lot of photographers prefer to hold stuff up to their eyes, but if that is a problem, you can get a slightly more expensive Fuji camera that's similar in specifications, does everything this does, is just as easy to use, has the interchangeable lenses, but also has the viewfinder, but it gets more expensive as a result. So bear that in mind. This is a wonderful beginner's camera, and if anybody who's just starting out, who's used to shooting on their phones anyway, they will just completely gel with it. It's got Fuji's beautiful film simulations on it. I'm using one right now called Nostalgic Neg, which I absolutely love, but it's just a stunning little thing. One more thing, if you know anybody who's based in the UK or Europe who is a beginner to photography or videography or presenting on camera and wants help with that, then the last sponsor of the video today, the only real sponsor, me. Check out www.nickdelaforce.com. Part of what I do is consulting, and as well as large businesses, the people I often speak about working with in my videos, I also work with smaller businesses, individuals, creators, to help them be more confident on camera, to help them learn how to film, to help them with camera skills, presenting skills, confidence on camera, and I give advice on this sort of stuff as well. So please do check out my website. If you know somebody who's interested in this industry, who wants help, that could be an awesome present as well to go along with all of the other cool equipment that you get them. Anyway, look, thank you so much for watching. I hope you've enjoyed. Everything is linked below, including me, including all the books and other things that I've mentioned. Don't forget the gallery experiences too, my wife Amy's book, Human and all those people. Gosh, so many links. Look, I hope that's been helpful. I hope that inspires you. I hope that helps you get something really meaningful, something that's going to inspire your friend or family member or lover, whoever it might be. If you have any questions, ask in the comments and I will be there answering as many questions as I possibly can. But thank you so much for watching. Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year, everybody. I hope that was enough of the Big Nick energy for you. It was a gift from my wife. I don't normally do novelty t-shirts. I do love it. It's very cool. Okay, take care. Love you. Merry Christmas. Bye.
Oh.